Alright, this is a bit of a different one here. It's actually not going to be as much gaming related. I'm not going to be talking about games that much in this one, but I want to just go over the gaming PC that I was talking about in the previous vid. This gaming PC is $1,000 in Australian, and I just wanted to make this so then I can just like remember and stuff about what I actually thought was good and stuff, and yeah. So this is a PC. It looks like it can run 90% of the games that you would like. I've seen benchmarks and stuff of it, and it looks like it can run any game at decent settings. Like, I've seen them. I've seen Black Ops 4 Blackout, PUBG, Fortnite. What other games? Just Cause 4. Like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like, there's many games. So it looks promising. So I'm just gonna go over all of the like computer parts for it and whatnot. So yeah, I guess we'll start from the top and go to the bottom of the list. Actually, no, I'll go from the cheapest item to the most expensive item. How about that? Alright, let's just get started. Now, starting off with the cheapest item, we have a thing that's only made for cable management. It's a bag of 100 cable ties. Nothing really special about it, it's just for cable management. So then you don't look like you're walking through not really walking, but looking at a bush of cables. Because this setup, I don't really have any cable ties, and it looks disgustingly bad with all of its cables. So cable management will be key this time, because it doesn't look great from here. It really doesn't. So that's all I've got to say about the cable ties, and well, let's get on to the next item. For our next item, we're going to be having it's going to be our PC case. By the way, if you don't know, this is all from M-Wave in Australia. So everything will be in M-Wave if you want to find it. But the next item will be the case. It's a $50 case from Techwear. It's the Nexus M. It's got a tempered glass side panel, and on the other side, like with the cable management side, it doesn't have tempered glass because it's only $50. But this, I would say, is a very good valued case, because I was looking at the Tesseract one. That's like $55. It's blue, and the thing about that case is that although it probably looks a bit better in my opinion because of LED lighting and stuff, it looks a bit cooler, but it only comes with 2 fans. This is $6 cheaper because it's $49, but it comes with 3 fans, so I think it's quite good value for its pricing, and it's probably one of the cheapest keyboards out on M-Wave right now, so you know, it's pretty good. So yeah, that'll be that's the next cheapest. Let's keep going up. I forgot to mention something at the very beginning of this thing that I'm talking about, and is that I'm actually not getting an SSD for this, nor am I even getting a hard drive. I have an external HDD that has 2 terabytes on it, so I will not have any storage things. But if you want to push just a bit over 1,000, you can get like a 1 terabyte hard drive just for, just for a short amount of time, because the pricing of this PC, like from what I have here, is $980. So you will push a bit over 1,000 if you do get a hard drive, which I do recommend since the price is cutting so close, because SSDs are just ridiculously expensive, even for a 500 gigabyte one. It's like $120, but for like a 1 terabyte hard drive, you can get them for what, $50 in Australian. So I recommend getting a 1 terabyte hard drive. That's just my preference. I just want to put that as a heads up, and yeah, that's just all I wanted to say for that. Moving on to the next item. Alright, the next item for the list on this PC is a 700 watt smart RGB power supply, 80 plus certified, or whatever it's from. It's from Thermaltake. Now, I was looking at like 80 plus power supplies for either 650 watt or 700 watt, and this is like a decently priced one for me, and it's got RGB. The only problem about it is that the case has like a little like power supply area, so you can't really see the RGB out of it, but you know, it's RGB. Doesn't really matter. It's pretty good for its price anyway, so I'll still take it, but you know, it's nothing that special because it's getting blocked off by the case, but that's alright. As I say, it's a pretty decent price. Moving on to the next item. Moving on to our next item, we have the Asus Prime B450M AM4 ATX motherboard. You may have, I don't know, I'm not going to say the entire like name for it because it kind of just, it's a bit of a weird name, but it's a fine motherboard, I think, at least. I'm not that great when it comes to motherboards. All I know is that it has a B450 chipset in it, so it's fine. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say for the motherboard. It has like 4 RAM slots in it, I think, so it's like fine for upgradability and stuff. But yeah, let's move on to the next item after the motherboard. Speaking of RAM, we're actually moving on to the RAM right now. So for $200, we are getting the Team T-Force Delta RGB series. This is 2 8GB sticks, so it goes up to 16 gigabytes of memory. This also runs on 3000 megahertz, so it's actually a pretty good like price on, because when I was going out for this PC, like when I was picking out the parts, I was actually like getting like the cheapest one that I could find, which was 2 RGB, no, not RGB, they're not RGB, but there were 2 RAM sticks that were equaling up to 16 gigs, but it was 2400 megahertz instead of 3000 megahertz, so 2400 megahertz. So this was better, and the price still ended up below 1,000 because of the GPU that I swapped out. I downgraded a little bit for it just to get better RAM and better bandwidth with like the motherboard and stuff, so then it like performs better, because this GPU paired with the CPU is actually a good combo. I've seen it a few times like throughout YouTube and stuff, and it seems to be able to run games just fine. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about the RAM. Let's move on to the next item. Moving on to our next item, it's the second to last item, and it is the GPU. The thing that's going to be able to make us run our games. I've picked the MSI Radeon RX 570 with 8 gigabytes of VRAM. This seems like a pretty good card. Instead of the 3000 megahertz like RAM, I was gonna pick the RX 580 over it, but the $80 price difference doesn't really pay out for the performance. It's slightly better FPS for basically the same like settings you'll set for games, but I don't really think it was worth it. I think it was worth getting better RAM instead of a slightly better card for $80. And well, if I still had the RX 580 and the worst of RAM, it would have been over $1,000 to set up. But now it's below $1,000. So, you know, it's better. I reckon it is, saving money and still keeping similar performance. So, you know, I can't complain about that. Moving on to our last, final item of this PC. And you probably know what it is. So let's move on. So for the last item, it is the CPU. I think this is a good CPU. It seems to be a pretty popular one too. I'm not entirely sure if it's popular, but I reckon it is. It is the AMD Ryzen 5 2600 core. It has 6 cores in it. It can run up to 3.9 gigahertz, and it also comes with its own CPU cooler. So I thought this was pretty good price for it. I was going to pick some i5 core, but then I saw that this Ryzen 5 core was way cheaper, and I think it performed better than the Intel core. So I went with this instead, and I was going with a Intel core with a GTX 1060, but then I eventually changed it to this, which I think came out much better, because the GTX 1060 isn't as good as the RX 570. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. This is a $260 core, but I think it's definitely worth its price, I reckon, in my opinion. So yeah, move on to the conclusion of this video. To wrap up this vid here, I'm just gonna go over a little bit of the PC still. The total price of this PC, if you didn't hear me part of the way through the video, it's $980. It's, I think, pretty well priced, but the only problem is this does not include shipping price, because everyone's shipping price will probably vary. So, you know, it could go up to $1,100, or I don't know. I haven't checked my own shipping price because, well, I'll probably get this later on in the future. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this build from what I'm looking at here. It seems promising with all the parts and stuff. So yeah, if you enjoyed this different type of vid, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'll be making sure to upload more. My hope would be to upload once every 2 days, but I think that'll be a bit hard for me because, one, I have to actually try to, and secondly, I don't know, there is no second, but I'll try, and if I can't do it, then I'm sorry, because, you know, my first video for this channel was the live stream for Monopoly, and yeah, I think I'm gonna have to wrap it up here because I've gone over time from my Just Cause 3 content. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.